Hello everyone and welcome out to Wood League All-Stars. This is the show where we cast some low-level games, usually bronze 5, sometimes under level 30. Today we are hopping off of Two-Face Itachi, who is a level 15 player. He is ranked over on EU Northeast, but he's also leveling his US account so he can play with us here on the stream. This is going to be episode 5, and remember everyone that we don't like to make fun of the people in these games to hurt them. We just like to make jokes. Everyone makes mistakes. Some of us just make more than others, which is why low levels exist in play so that we can learn and hopefully get better, although looking at my own play after 3 years might not be too likely for all of us. I had a little bit of trouble organizing the scoreboard here. A big reason is let's take a look at our blue team roster here. Alright, so we have a Teemo with Flash and Ghost. He could go top, he could go mid, he could go AD carry. It looks like he's actually going to go top though, so I'm going to swap him out. Alright, we have a Jungle Trundle. That's fine. I can handle that just easily enough. Now Blitzcrank could be going bot lane with Fiddlesticks. Alright, which means that we then have a mid lane Soraka who just connected, picked up a Spell Thief's Edge for her first item, which will allow for some trading in lane, but it doesn't go along very well with farming, since farming does disable the passive. Ooh, Rue X3 getting a lot of damage off onto Chaos Chaser. I want to say it's Chaos and that he just accidentally typed the wrong letters, but maybe he really thinks it's spelled Chose. Over on the red team, our lineup is a lot more normal. We have a top lane Riven, a mid lane Teemo, a support Nautilus, which is, although we don't see it too much, actually not that surprising, along with an AD carry Lucian, and with all of Nautilus's lockup early on, it could definitely result in some really nice bot lane plays due to Lucian's really strong early damage, especially with someone that can lock up. Since Nautilus has really 4 forms of CC, he has the snare from his auto attack, he has the slow from his E, he has the snare from his Q, and the knockup from his ult. It all plays together to allow Lucian to get off a couple of piercing lights, a full culling, and potentially a lot of attack and movement speed from the Ardent Blaze. Not attack speed, but a lot of attacks onto it, which then grant movement speed, of course. Our top lane matchup is probably going to go in Teemo's favor as long as he can stay back and poke pretty effectively. Chaos Chaser going to come up pretty far, and Rue isn't going to get too many auto attacks on, but we saw earlier how quickly he can really bring down Servant's health. He's actually started with the Valor to block up some of that damage, and as long as he Valors pretty much when the auto attack is coming, he can be sure to block it. They did nerf the duration that Riven's shield stays up because it just allowed for so much free mitigation. So there, since he didn't block anything, it immediately goes away after a second and a half, and then Rue X3 is free to harass on him a little bit more. Baby got 455, pushing up here a bit, and it looks like he could be a duo with Baby got 7175, who actually goes in pretty aggressively onto this bot lane Fiddlesticks. It looks like he'll be building as an AP carry, so a lot of ability power here on the blue team, and if Magic Resist comes out, they may rely on Two-Face Itachi to get some attack damage on the Jungle Trundle, potentially with a Spirit of the Elder Lizard or a Blade of the Ruined King. They aren't items that Trundle will necessarily build in the jungle that often, but it could be necessary, just depending on the itemization choices. Everyone's starting out with pretty typical items so far, except for the Spell Thief's Edge, as I mentioned, as well as this longsword up on Chaos Chaser. It definitely hurts his sustain early on if he doesn't go for either a Doran's Shield or a Doran's Blade. And in a melee versus range matchup, I would expect something like a Doran's Shield to mitigate some of the Teemo damage. There, Chaos Chaser puts in a good amount of damage, and actually Rue X3 pops the Ghost to escape from that one. That's a favorable trade, and Chaos Chaser still has another health potion to get the health back up. Blinding Dart, will help in the full-on engages, but really not that strong a poke right now, especially with the Valor to take a front of the blow. And right now I'm just looking for the first big mistake, because that's where we can really start to laugh it up. That's where we can have fun and relax with this cast. And I feel like it could happen with Shija in the jungle. He's been falling pretty low. The engagement in the bottom lane, however, there's a good hook in on the Hansa Mayuri, and the hook in from Leave assassinates his own teammate. Leave flashes after, but he's slowed from the exhaust. Leave will have to leave this lane after assisting the enemy team. He should honestly get an assist for that one because he pulled Lucian directly into Fiddlesticks. That was beautiful. And as the champion, you can control enemy movement. It's really one of the great ways to troll your own team. Oh, Chaos Chaser trying to run away. Slowed up. The pillar lands in the slightly wrong spot. He still is slowed. Tufestachi flashes after, but Chaos Chaser gets the kill on the Teemo. Was it the minions? The minions got Teemo as he chased on. Tufestachi wasn't able to continue on since Riven is so mobile with that Valor as well as the broken wings. And so that's a kill for Riven. Tufestachi will come back in. He has the movement speed, but the stun comes across from Chaos Chaser. Tufestachi, no! The broken wings is going to be too strong. Chaos Chaser gets 2 kills and a red buff now in the top lane. He is going to look strong up here. Grabbing out a lot of gold, now has 1,270 under his belt. If he stays for a wave, which actually he will not, he could have gone back to buy a Brutalizer. Actually, no, because he started with a longsword, he can go back and buy a Brutalizer now, which would be such an aggressive and really punishing lane. There it is, going to grant him attack damage, armor penetration, and cooldown reduction. All perfect items on Riven, who just scales oh so beautifully with them. Ooh, not sure name. Taking a lot of poke there. Fortunately has the Divine Blessing to continuously heal himself up, but he just doesn't quite have the mana to sustain it from what Teemo is laying down on him. Once Teemo wants to all in, he has the Ignite, and if he trades in a full all-in from both players, he has the barrier as well. No flash on the Teemo, which could be difficult since he might be ganked soon by Two-Face Itachi. There's no ward over here, but he's still playing a little suspiciously. Throws down a Shroom to try and allow himself an escape. If he runs away, then if anyone tries to run around that corner, they will be slowed up and take quite a bit of damage in the process. Lucian picking up a Sheen for his first item, really going for an aggressive laning phase, getting some nice poke down, and will be going for a Trinity Force as his first item, which really gives him a lot of damage, and honestly, it's a respectable choice, which is something we don't see too much down here in the low levels. Chaos Chaser really having a good time with this top lane, except in the farm department. He's definitely giving up a lot of CS. Come on, you can get it. Yes, he got it. Okay, 2 in a row. No, he's blinded. Oh, man, he needed to use a spell for that, but no, now he's playing so far back. He's actually not in range of any of these. He's trying to let his red buff last hit it, but it's not of any luck. He's gotten 2 of the entire wave, but he might just look to farm champion since that's what Riven does so well. Gets a knock up and the Wind Slash, bringing home a 3rd kill. Killing spree for Chaos Chaser, looking so powerful right now. Lucian and Nautilus playing forward pretty aggressively since they have been stomping this lane. This Fiddlesticks only has 12 CS to his name. He is almost 3 times behind what his enemy Lucian is in. He will pick up a couple last hits under this turret, but remember, we probably won't see too many. Oh, yes, Leave got it. He's picking up the slack where his AP carry has left off. You know, actually, the Fiddle Blitz lane could potentially be powerful. If Fiddle is able to ult in just as Blitz gets a grab, that could definitely pick up a nice kill. But I'm not sure Leave is going to pick up too many grabs here. The only one we've seen is the one that really executed his own ally. And so I'd like to see him going on to With All Ice. He does have the Relentless Pursuit to potentially escape from that one, but if he can't pop it, then that could be an easy kill. Oh, Rue, X3 ghosting away once again, having a really rough time up against Chaos Chaser. Needs some jungle help, and it looks like Tufestachi is going to give it. Roaming up here, going right over a ward. Riven will be wary of that, and actually might be able to turn this around. Tufestachi can reduce the attack damage, can steal some of the armor magic resist, but Riven still has so much burst regardless of that. I'm not sure they can do it. Oh, down in the bottom, there's a good all-in Handsome Yui. Finds the kill onto Lucian, and Nautilus looks to escape. I mix them up because they both use grabs. But that time it wasn't all too effective. Leave able to pick up an assist with Hansam picking up his first kill of the game, getting on the board, still over halfway behind in his CS, but looking to catch up. Chaos Chaser going to lead the chase here around the rock. Rue X3 might look to block him off, but he definitely can't dive this turret. It's going to have to fall back a little bit with Two-Face Itachi running right back to the mid lane, which is looking like Shroom Heaven, or at least the beginnings of it. He's laying them down all the way across this lane, even up into the entrances of the jungle, so that he can keep himself as safe as possible. Two-Face Itachi now maybe looking for a steal on the red buff. Udyr not going to get there on time. This is a solid pickup. And Udyr hasn't had a great time in this jungle. He's been farming up quite a bit. Hasn't moved towards a lane yet and has been jungling on pretty low health. Now Two-Face Tachi will steal it just in time as Shm-ADC comes in from the side and just tries to clear that out. So he'll get it on the next pickup. Really has to be careful about the timings there. Baby got using that hook for the pickups. Really zoning out well in this lane, but has to be careful that he doesn't get pulled in too far, since Fiddle has some good damage on him so far. Two-Face Tachi now chasing on to the Chaos Chaser. Actually deals a good amount of damage with the bite, but the Valor is there, and Riven is just such a mobile champ. Now Shm-ADC comes in from behind, tries to get a movement speed to chase on. In the bottom lane, an ult comes in from Nautilus. Culling actually dealing damage. I'm surprised. I thought that the culling was an elaborate joke perpetrated by Riot to make you think that it was actually an ability when really it was just dead particles floating across the screen that sometimes connected. However, it looks like that actually brought Leave pretty low, which could set up a potential dive. Oh, the shield popped to the piercing light. Now that shield won't be blocking up anything. And he'll have to stick around on some low health, no potions to his name, just some sustain from the Ancient Coin, which he'll get health from every time a minion dies in the vicinity. Hansa Mayui throwing a Dark Wind. Shm-ADC teleports to the bottom because, of course, he's a teleport Udyr. Why would I expect any different? He's just going to chill here in the bush. Chaos Chaser on a rampage. What else would we expect from a BF Sword and a Brutalizer on a Riven? He takes some damage from the Shroom, but it's all not too much. Leave with his speed buff is able to leave once again, a joke that I'll probably continue making throughout the course of this video. And Baby got really abusing this lane hard, not getting too much of a CS advantage, but really pushing the lane up and keeping Not Sure Name from leaving, to be sure. Oh, Not Sure Name takes a lot of damage, can walk onto a Shroom, heals himself with the Wish. Now Two-Face Tachi throwing down a pillar, going to have to chase through yet another Shroom. No, he flashes over it perfectly. He's just running right through the Shrooms that he cannot see, but he lands the kill, picking it up in a solid gank. And now we'll continue right on towards the bottom lane where he's going to come up behind Lucian and Nautilus. Hansa Mayui starts up the Crowstorm, comes in. They turn on the Baby God. They should be able to get him. There's a Crowstorm ticking down. A good pillar going to cut off his escape. The drain and the auto attacks and Baby God going to fall there to Hansa Mayuji. And a solid play there in the bottom. Chaos Chaser taking the turret in the top will mean the first turret of the game. And oh no, with all ice, the Ignite is on him and he falls. Leave is able to take up the kill. However, Shm-ADC did pick up a kill in return onto Leave. Support for AD carry will mean that Hansa Mayuji actually getting pretty strong. Has a couple of Doran's rings so far. Recalling on some wards, but Shm-ADC isn't going to get there in time to stop him. He'll come right back to buy. And we'll see. Actually, needs to see large rod. That's going to go perfectly into his Zanya's Hourglass if he chooses to go that route, which on a Fiddlesticks makes sense. Rue X3 has to be careful about coming up too close to Riven in this bush. The Wind Slash is up. There's no flash, but there is an Ignite, which means Rue X3 could be a simple combo away from his fourth death of the game. Bilgewater Cutlass on Two-Face Tachi means that he's going for a slightly aggressive route. He knows he's the only attack damage on his team, and so he's going to own it up with a with the beginnings of a Blade of the Ruined King is the name of that item. Oh, Chaos Chaser is going to be the victim of yet another chase. Not Sure Name tries to get the silence down. That's going to limit Chaos Chaser's mobility for a little while. Bilgewater Cutlass slow is there as well. Oh, the pillar not quite on the right side. Chaos Chaser has a continuous jumps and Not Sure Name pops the Shroom, which will slow down Two-Face Tachi. He needs to get a pillar on the other side of Chaos Chaser, but he isn't going to get it. Shm-ADC falling so low in the jungle. I thought he might be in a fight, but of course he's just dueling it up with the neutral monsters. Baby Got trying to lead Rue X3 through his field of Shrooms. But this isn't the Hunger Games, so it looks like Rue won't die today. Not Sure Name able to sustain himself back up in the mid, will continue on his quest to get the very most farm. However, that is currently being led up by With All Ice, doing an excellent job in the bottom lane, building towards that Infinity Edge. Trinity Force. They both deal tons of damage, so I'm sure Freak wouldn't be too disappointed in me, though. Hansa Miyuji charging up his Crow Storm once again, but they have vision on him. Baby Got still falling low. The fear is on, and although the fear makes him run away because screw everyone with a fear, he still falls. Now an excellent grab in from Leave, and the shield means he's going to survive for a little bit longer with all ice. Going to be victim to the double kill. Hansa Miyuji picking it up with the drain and putting himself on a rampage. Chaos Chaser moving towards the mid, really wants to push down this turret. Two-Face Itachi will come in for the assistance, and Not Sure Name should be able to clear this out pretty well, unless Chaos Chaser is able to jump right onto him. The Wind Slash not going to connect. Chaos Chaser now falls solo. Two-Face Itachi actually doesn't pick it up. It's Not Sure Name with the kill, a shutdown, and huge amounts of gold now. Baby Got trying to run away. Two-Face Itachi taking so much poison damage, and he falls, but he does give the kill over to Not Sure Name, who grabs a double. The red buff as well, and Soraka will now be able to clear this out. And as long as you sacrifice yourself for the enemy, it's worth it if you can then shove out the wave and deny all this CS to the opponents. He needs to do it quickly, but it looks like he'll be able to. Hansum having a rather strong time in the bottom. A good Dark Wind going to keep them from casting their spells until he gets it right back up. Now Leave will be the victim of this chase if Shijiya can connect on. There's no ghost from this Udyr, only a teleport. It is not quite up yet. However, the grab in going to put Hansa Miyuji in another potential bad spot. Leave gets close enough to Hansum that he gets knocked up, and it looks like he might be the next victim here, but the ignite and the turret shot's going to be enough to take down Ice. And Hansum, unstoppable in this bottom lane, looking incredibly strong. Baby Got and Shijiya have to be careful as well. A Dark Wing Fear Drain combo might be enough to take him out. Ooh, Two-Face Itachi moving in from the side. There's no Bilgewater proc. He scries the bush just to see if there's a potential pink ward or an enemy. Comes around behind, throws down a very solid pillar of ice, but now Shijiya might be the next victim. Oh, the Flash Fear in is perfect, and it results in a kill for Two-Face Itachi. It proves that maybe a Flash would be a good summoner spell. Who would have thought that Flash is effective at, you know, moving, escaping, chasing, stealing, all sorts of things. There's so many great uses of that lovely, lovely summoner spell. The auto is going back and forth, not looking too interesting. What appears to be the most impactful is the solo Dragonair from Two-Face Itachi, going to give his team a good chunk of change, putting themselves up in the gold lead now, about 1,300 over their opponents. Although they haven't picked up a turret yet, that could be their next goal. Right now, with the current sustain from Not Sure Name, he's able to push this up pretty well. He has the consistent AoE damage, the consistent heals, all things that Baby Got 455 doesn't have. And he has to be so careful now. The auto attack's coming down, and it looks like he'll be able to pick it up. Oh, he throws over the Frost Queen's claim, but the blind keeps the last auto attack from connecting. The bananas not enough to finish him off, and Teemo survives off the side. Frost Queen's claim, if you're not sure, the active does 110 magic damage in an area of effect and slows movement speed. Oh, Chaos Chaser moves him from the side, walks right into a shroom, and decides to back off of this one. The turret now the next target of our blue team. However, Soraka not going to move in too close, so Two-Face Itachi will be left alone on that. Now Shijiya and Chaos Chaser trying to move in on the Two-Face. Chaos Chaser not going to be able to find anything here due to that Divine Blessing, which looks like it's doing so well from Soraka. Now Two-Face Itachi throwing down the Bilgewater Cutlass, going to flash after Riven. A perfect stun, and no, Not Sure Name once again. Leave flashes in and gets the passive proc to pick up the kill. But Not Sure Name has popped so many mushrooms that have stopped Two-Face Itachi from chasing onto the enemies. Leave really wants a rocket grab here. He's going to run right next to a shroom, but fortunately be a little bit smarter than that. Rue X3 continuing up in this top lane. He's been left alone for a while, and he's almost been able to pick up CS by default. However, he's still quite a ways behind his enemy Riven. With an early Haunting Guise, that could be the Leandri's Teemo with the shrooms that we all love to fear oh so much. Shijiya going to move up and defend up top. Well, with all ice, gets pulled in the drain from Hansa Miyuji. Finds him a 6 kill. This fiddle is unstoppable. And I really don't know what's going to stop him right now. There's not a lot of magic resist here on our red team, despite the 4 magic damage dealers. I would even count Blitzcrank in there since his ultimate static field has some pretty solid damage. Chaos Chaser not going to get there in time, and Two-Face Itachi finds the blue buff. However, he might have found himself in a pretty rough situation. The Ignite is down. Two-Face Itachi is falling so low, and he will give the blue over onto Miyuji, coming in with the Crow Storm. Finds a return kill, and the buff transfer is complete. Onto Miyuji emerges with yet another kill. He is almost legendary, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see if this all AP comp will work out for them. Not Surname, just continuing on the mid, has finished his Zanya's Hourglass. Fiddlesticks is going for his own, and soon enough, he should find it. Baby got 455. Going to back. So you could say, Baby got back. But instead, he's going to come right back to lane, keep on farming, and Not Surname, going to have a fun time with these shrooms. With the consistent heals, the shrooms really aren't that bad for him. And so he's had a solid time dealing here. Rue X3 going for the counter jungle Teemo, which we don't know has a history of succeeding. He flashes away and goes right back in on the Shigia, not dealing too much damage, but going to be a nuisance nonetheless. With all ice feared up once again, but it's going to leave Hansa Miyuji in such a vulnerable position. Pulled in and taking so much damage. Oh, pops the Zanyas at a perfect time. The culling clears out the wave, but doesn't do too much more than that. And it appears this graphical bug has, once again, not dealt any damage to an enemy champion. Oh, Leave does his best to defend this turret, but he has to be careful. He's falling low. He's picked up the Frosted Fisticuffs. This Blitzcrank is looking for battle. In the middle lane, Baby got back Shijua and Chaos Chaser trying to defend this middle turret, which appears to be the focus of the red team. Chaos Chaser potentially moving in for the side swipe, but he can't do too well against Two-Face Itachi anymore. With that damage reduction finally being pretty meaningful and the slow from a Blade of the Ruined King, it appears that Riven isn't having quite so easy a time as she had for the first 4 kills. Ooh, Shigia gonna run right there on the other side of the wall, but Leave not finding it. However, Chaos Chaser walks right into a Fiddle Fear, tries to get away, but the Rocket Grab going to bring him right back in. Leave taking yet another kill. A 3-2-4 Blitzcrank, hungry for blood. Moving in towards the middle lane, pretty much signals the most definite end of this final outer turret. Blue team looking strong, and I'm happy for that since Two-Face Itachi, friend of the stream, deserves a win out of this one. He has been all over the map, is now going to move in onto the enemy jungler, but not quite find what he's looking for. Instead, going to grab some tasty CS that no one else on the team is probably going to get. The farm totals are actually looking impressively high for a non-level 30 game. However, some of them are still a little rough. Fiddlesticks still below 100, which is why even despite his 7 kills, he hasn't been able to grab up too many items yet. However, just kind of by default, as long as he presses R and gets near an enemy champion, he should be fine. Blitzcrank also on point with these hooks. Has come a long way since his early days of killing his own lane partner. Ruex3 might be in a rough position. Chaos Chaser chasing in, not landing the stun. Ruex3 with his ghost might be enough to get away from this, but Shigia comes up from the side to cut him off. Ruex3 tries to juke around by running in circles. Is it going to be enough? No! Chaos Chaser finds it with the final auto attack, and Teemo will be down. Mission accomplished. We can all exit the game, because that is yet another Teemo death. You know what the best part of any game with mirror match Teemos is that you get double the Teemo dies. And that's what we're seeing here. 4 on our blue team, 2 on our red team. Not as much as we'd like to see, but this game isn't over yet. If there's anything that low-level players are bad at, it's the same issue that plagues several LCS teams, which is closing out a game. We're 23 minutes in, so it's not too soon. And not too late. But just the right time to see some big, hilarious plays going on. Baron is up, Dragon is live as well, and they are both openly contestable, but right now Two-Face Itachi going to be the only one who considers this dragon for his team. Fiddlesticks now moving in for the assistance, going to result in the second dragon of the game going over to blue, which means a solid chunk of change. Now 5,000 here for the blue team. You can see it in the items. That's a quite a lot finished over here. I wish I could compare some AD carry items, but of course, there's no AD carry for our blue side. Interesting to see Trundle going for the Warden's Mail and the Giant's Belt. Going to be finishing up a Randuin's Omen before he goes for a full-on jungle item. Right now, just sitting on the Spirit Stone. Oh, not Surname. Not going to see Chaos Chaser stealing away that blue buff. If you take a look at Lucian, he's finally finished up his Trinity Force. He is dealing tons of damage, but is it tons enough to chip through the 2 Randuins on the enemy team? The high armor as well from both this Randuin's Omen on Trundle and the Frosted Fisticuffs and the Warden's Mail on Blitzcrank as well. Really the only champion without a lot of armor is Teemo, which is why we've seen Riven have a field day up top. Right now, up top is not where the action is. It's currently in mid, where everyone's decided to group and push because we've all been playing a few too many on the Howling Abyss. And we'll see who makes the next move. The answer is going to be no one. Shijia going to come right back to struggling to handle these neutral monsters one-on-one. Goes in with the pow, with the kablow, with the smack to the face, taking a good deal of damage from this wipe, but surviving with above half health, which is more than we could have said for pretty much the first half of this game. Hansame Yuji, not sure name, continuing to use their AoE spells to push this in. There's an ultimate, the depth charge from Nautilus, forcing the flash out of Hansame Yuji. Chaos Chaser moving in, looking for the stunned, but a perfect fear from Fiddle will keep Chaos Chaser back. And that is a good lineup when you consider it. They have a blind from Teemo, the fear and silence from Fiddle, the silence from Soraka, and the silence from Blitzcrank. These are all excellent tools at dealing with a Riven. Even the Pillar of Ice will be able to keep Riven off, potentially keep her from escaping with all her numerous abilities, or keep her from chasing on, since, of course, she is the Chaos Chaser. The Chouse Chaser, if you will. Oh, Leaf uses the speed buff, but misses the Rocket Rabbit. Looks like that went right through Baby God, but regardless of the bugs, they will have to leave. Riot, please. So many shrooms going off left and right. But it's not going to result in too much damage. Oh, Leave looking. No, he doesn't find the rocket grab. That could have been an excellent kill. Oh, right over the wall. Barely misses Chaos Chaser. Leave is really, really close with these. I definitely underestimated him earlier when I saw him kill his own ally. And he's been playing pretty successfully. Dark Wind doing so much damage to Baby. Got 7-1, 7-5. And he can't take up too many of these. You really have to split up when that Dark Wind comes, because if it bounces to you 3 times, that could half your health against a Fiddle with a decent build. It looks like Fiddle's going for the Landry's next. Going to be a solid teamfight burn build when he can ult in and then deal a lot of damage in there. Oh, 2 of his salty flashes after he goes in for the dive and completely solos out this Udyr. No one's going to be up top to retaliate, and so it'll leave this mid lane open for pushing, calling for a good amount of clear. Now they've turned back onto With All Ice. He tries to finish off Hansame Yuji, but he can't quite rocket grab. Not going to connect him. With All Ice might be escaping off the side. Ryu going to try and use that movement speed to chase on. With All Ice still trying to run away. And the Crow Storm comes in and doesn't connect with anyone. Hansame Yuji not quite calculating that one to perfection. Might need to brush up on his physics just a little bit. Leave. Ever the Shroom Checker pops that shield and might have to recall for a little bit of health back. Needs to wait on that shield before he fights again, since it's such an important characteristic of Blitzcrank's build. That Warden's Mail likely going to be turned into a Frozen Heart. Sense of Frozen Heart synergizes so excellently with the passive. Oh, there's the Dark Wind. Double bounce to both of them. And not dealing quite as much damage as it might have at level 1, or it might if he had a little bit more ability power, but this build is going to keep him rather safe. He has the armor, he has the health, and like we've said, he has the passive and actives that do really well in sustained fights. No one's done anything for about the last 5 minutes, which is fine because it gives us more time to make hilarious mistakes. But right now, it looks like a grouping in mid from the red team could result in a fight. Let's see if Leaf can get in there. He gets the knock up onto Baby God. The grab back in, and Baby God's looking so charged back. Gets a couple knocked up, but Baby God will still be the first to fall. Two-Face Tachi looking massive here. Culling comes across, but barely tickles Leaf, who's running in with all the armor in the world. Now Chaos Chaser, the straggler, escaping off the side. Will escape for now. Some pings onto the mid lane inner turret. could be our next target here from the blue team, but the shrooms are ever present to keep this clear. Chaos Chaser pulled right into the middle of the team. Is it going to turn this one? No, he's feared up, and Hantama Yuji picks out the kill. 8, 1, and 4. He is almost... No, he is legendary. He's finally legendary. And that's an excellent return from being the victim of First Blood. Goes to show that First Blood doesn't decide a game at all, especially with the recent changes. Meaning that kills are worth less earlier into the game. They start out at 40%. Up until 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, they scale up to 100% at 4. With All Ice doing his best to clear out, actually has garnered quite a bit of farm this game. 218, building up the Infinity Edge, which was the item I mistook the Trinity Force for early. Can we just call it a Trinfinity Edge? Trinfinity Force Edge? Fedge? Trinfinity Fedge. There, that's a good name for it. Let's stick with that. That doesn't sound weird at all. No, Disciple, that doesn't sound weird at all. Thank you, bystander who agrees with me. Rex 3 looking to tally up his gold total as well. Actually not finished off the Landry's Torment, instead going to go for a Nashor's Tooth. If he ever finishes it, he might be following suit of the Kale in episode 3 and never going to finish that item until the very end of the game. Chaos Chaser now can do what he does best. Chase on to Rex 3, dealing so much damage. Throws the Wind Slash over his dead body for a bit of bladed teabagging. As Chaos Chaser grabs his 7th kill. Still not going to be as strong as our enemy Fiddle, but in a solid spot to carry the game. We'll see if he can do it, since he's really our red team's only hope. The 1 in 5 Lucian not going to be that strong, especially if he stays from finishing his Infinity Edge. He doesn't have the gold for it yet, and he's going to hope to find it soon. Another dragon going the way of blue team. Two-Face Tachi souling it out once again. Now going to run back, and he can honestly solo out this Riven, especially a Riven without Flash or the Wind Slash. Chaos Chaser going to try and run away. He's slowed up. There's the ultimate coming across as well. Blade of the Rune King to give Two-Face Tachi the movement speed. He throws the Randuin's Omen for the slow. Chaos Chaser looking to get away. He is so mobile with those abilities. Two-Face Tachi throws the field to continue on, but he can't quite get it. The ice just not slippery enough to allow him to slide into home. And so, another kill escaping off the edges. But isn't that the story of every Riven you ever play against? Not your own Riven, though. Not your own Riven. Your own Riven is going to die to a light breeze. However, the enemy Riven, oh dear. Oh dear. Right now, our blue team is a little conflicted on what to do next. They've tried to push in this mid lane so often, but the Shroom Fields have always thwarted their efforts. Baby got 455. Doesn't have quite as many as he had before, so we might see a push successful in the future. We might also see Fiddlesticks going for the catch. Actually, might be the one caught out here. Flashes away and tries to escape. 5 members grouped up here around the blue buff, and no fight could possibly benefit the blue team. Oh, Leaf tries to go for the steal, but doesn't quite connect. Baby got 455, and with All Ice slowed up. There's a Frost Queen's Claim, and the Crow Storm coming right across Hantama Yuji, doing massive damage. Needs the heal. The culling tickling him a little bit too hard, throwing a fit, and finally having to retreat into his hole. With All Ice, throws the barrier and survives off the edge. Ignite, no! Leave gets the Rampage. Ignite is just enough to finish him off. Two-Face Tachi wants to continue in here, but Chaos Chaser might be the one to turn this around if he can catch a straggler. Oh, Two-Face Tachi and Leave come to collapse in. Rue X3 takes the brunt of the damage, but with the Blade of the Rune King and Randuin's onto him, Leave will actually pick up the kill, grabbing his 6th of the game. This bottom lane right now, 15, 3, and 12, really looking powerful. 4, 3, and 7 Trundle as well. And of course the Sraga, who hasn't died, having a perfect KDA right now, looking sharp there for our team. Now looking towards the inhibitor turret. However, no one else came to back them up, and so they will have to head off there. An excellent grab lands from Baby Got, but he has to fall back. Our Baby Got brothers just trying to clear out this this middle wave to keep their inhibitor alive for as long as possible. The game is dragging on about 10 minutes longer than it probably needed to. Rue X3 backing off here, probably going to go for his Landry's Torment. Our Soraka picking up a very defensive build with his Zanya's Hourglass and the Spirit Visage. Honestly, there's not a lot on the map that I disagree with heavily. Hex Drinker is a perfect pickup from Riven because of the absolute magic damage on the enemy team, but I would like to see a bit more. This Pickaxe and Vampiric Scepter combination probably going to go into a Ravenous Hydra, which feels a bit late for that item. And you don't necessarily need a Ravenous Hydra and a Bloodthirster. That could possibly overdo it on the lifesteal. The Pickaxe could also be into a Mob Mortius, which is a definite possibility because, like I mentioned, the absolute overabundance of magic damage. However, he's the only one building magic resist so far. No one else picked up any magic resistance except in the 3 Mercury spreads we see across the team. Teemo still not picking up boots, but why does he need to? He doesn't have a flash. So why pussy out in the end by picking up an item that can help you escape or chase, depending on the situation? Instead, he'll just rely on his move quick and take a lot of damage as he tries to maneuver around the map. Riven going to try and carry this game single-handedly, moving in for the push. Leave moving in from behind, going to cut him off, but I don't think Leave can 1 versus 1 him, and there's no one in the vicinity. Chaos Chaser actually goes into the base, potentially looking for the suicide. Meanwhile, Not Sure Name potentially going to fall for the first time this match. Finally, with All Ice picks it up with the Gunslinger passive, getting the double shot off there. And Leave picks up a kill onto Riven in the base. Riven wasn't able to quite get in there for the execute. Hansa Miyuji just chilling here in the jungle because whenever you pick up a kill or lose someone, race just is always the place to go. It's like race for League of Legends is like the bar in How I Met Your Mother. No matter what happened that day, no matter what the circumstances are, everyone just ends up back at the bar to order some nachos, get some beer, talk about their day. And we're now seeing a party, a bit of a dance party. Everyone's just grouping up here in mid. Which, you know, it's the apartment in How I Met Your Mother, because that's where they go home to at the end of the day to you know, go for their plots. That's where our interventions happen. That's where we see all the embarrassing videos of Robin in her teen pop years. There's really a lot of How I Met Your Mother references I can make that definitely are going to fall short on anyone who hasn't seen that show. Not a lot of action so far. I was correct in my assumption that Pickaxe could go into Mob Mortius. Now Riven with a bit too many blades to hold in her hand. Still going to be dealing quite a bit of damage despite the over-encumbrance. 300 attack damage so far, and when she falls lower, that will only increase, especially popping the ultimate, which right now grants her plus 60 attack damage. So at near 0 health, that means that Riven will have about 400 attack damage, which will be intense for anyone to deal with, especially Teemo, who still hasn't picked up a single point of armor. He does have boots though, so that's one correct move that Teemo has made that his enemy Teemo still has yet to consider. I should give him a bit of that. Maybe he's considered it. Maybe he believes what he's doing is right. He believes what he's doing is true. And who knows, that could be the case. Alright, so what's going to happen next? Another dragon falling for blue team. Nothing new here. We haven't seen red team even go near a dragon as it's been alive. Chaos Chaser flashes in on the Rue X3, who flashes away, and the Wind Slash isn't quite enough to pick him up. Now Chaos Chaser puts himself in a rough spot. The Hex Drinker shield is there, but it's not going to be enough as he falls to Rue X3, grabbing up his revenge. Congratulations. And now with the 5 versus 4 and everyone in the mid, let's see the push. Come on, everyone's running the right direction. However, this shroom field going to stop them up quite a bit. Oh, they've evaded a lot of the shrooms so far. They've actually run right around them, but finally one pops. And that's been the only one so far. So, of course, why not retreat through the rest of them? Oh, Not Sure Name going to tank up 1, going to tank up 2, but the Corrosive Storm comes back across, and he's pulled right into the enemy team by Nautilus. He then throws his Zanya's Hourglass. Lee flashes in for the silence. They do finally shut down Fiddlesticks, his first death since the first blood, but that is a full ace here for the blue team. That pull in from Nautilus was perfect. That was an exact replica of what we saw Leave do at the beginning of the game, really killing his team there. allowing Fiddlesticks to get off a perfect Crowstorm channel. This will now be the inhibitor falling for the blue team, the first major objective advantage we've seen this game. Chaos Chaser looking for the cleanup crew, slowed up by the Frost Queen claim. Two-Face Itachi sticks on it and then turns around to take him out. Chaos Chaser throws the Wind Slash, doesn't deal enough. Not Surname throws a Victory Zanyas, and that'll be yet another kill. Two-Face Itachi is a massive threat right here. He's picked up his jungle item, has the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, and like we talked about before, he can go for the single aggressive item, that Blade of the Ruined King, and then build into a very tanky route. His longsword has a few options. It could potentially be a Ravenous Hydra to allow him to clear a little bit better, potentially give him some more pushing potential. So much potential. CLG would love me. Oh, Culling comes across and it misses every single tick under Ru-X3. Not a single one hit. I have to replay that just to see how absolutely beautiful it was. And here it comes. Epic music. Again, if I had music. Oh, here with all ice. He throws the Culling. Well, against Teemo, that fell a little short, eh? I paused so you all could laugh. One thing I would like to comment this game is that Shigia, with his teleport, has been really solid at not using it in very effective ways. I don't even remember when he last used his teleport. It's on cooldown now, so I'm sure he at one point clicked the button, but it might have been a mistake since they haven't won a fight in quite some time, unless it's been Chaos Chaser catching on to someone alone and being able to chase them down. You know, it's interesting to note that Blitzcrank has mostly been able to escape from Riven, so it looks like Leave cannot be chased. That wasn't funny. I'm sorry. Oh, Ru-X3 checking up all the streams with his face. And although he has an arsenal of them himself, he's going to feel a little bad about so many of them exploding. Can that give Teemo remorse? I know that Teemo is like a sadistic serial killer in the lore. But like, does he feel remorseful when he runs into the stream himself? And as he sees the spores explode around him, poisoning the air of everyone breathing it, does he feel like he should stop it? But looking at the map right now, it looks to not be the case. If you look at all the blue just spattered around, Ru-X3 going to be completely rueful in his placement. I don't know if I used that word right. I don't know what it means, but hey, might as well. I already made my my Hunger Games reference for that, so I was kind of out of Ru jokes. Hansa Miyui, Two-Face Itachi, not sure name, taking out this Baron. Shigia going to wade across the wall, but he doesn't have a single grab closer to get over it since he hasn't taken a flash. They're going to throw down the ward just to see the Baron retreating into its cave to revive in 7 minutes. And this Baroned up blue team looking to potentially end the game. There's only, not sure name trying to go for the catch. There's only an inhibitor turret start sending in the top lane. In the middle, they could push right into the Nexus if they want to fight. But right now, everyone's just going to be doing their own thing. Ru-X3 chilling in the bottom lane, waiting for Chaos Chaser to make his move. And there he comes in. The flash is unavailable, which means Chaos Chaser going to just lead Ru-X3 in a little bit of Ring Around the Rosie. Dodges right onto a Shroom and pops it out. Now Two-Face Itachi chasing on means Chaos Chaser. Oh, has so much. No! Two-Face Itachi flashed in for the last hit. I thought Riven might have escaped that. They had Blitzcrank coming in from behind to catch him out. And now with Two-Face Itachi taking out this turret, that's 7-2, and every non-base turret eliminated from the red team. Blue really looking powerful here with about 16,000 gold under their belts. They're building up some pretty big leads when it comes to items. The Rabadan's Death Cap finished here in Fiddle means he's dealing quite a bit of damage, and still not a lot of magic resist picked up on the enemy team. There's finally a Spectre's Cowl finished on the 2 bottom laners, a Negatron Cloak as well in the top lane, but no major MR items yet. No Banshee's Veils, not a Spirit Visage to be found. And there's actually a little bit of a debate whether it's pronounced Visage or Visage. So I've decided to pronounce it Visagi. So a Spirit Visagi only completed on Soraka We saw that item have a really strong peak, but after it was nerfed a little bit, except for champions who regenerate naturally with their own abilities or build it by building a lot of lifesteal, a lot more Banshee's Veils have taken prevalence. Ooh, Baby God has to be careful about running in too close. With the Teemo Shroom, it could potentially set up a leave grab. This Blitzcrank has picked up a Lichbane on top of his Frosted Fisticuffs, which will actually give him some really strong on-hit damage. It gives him both the slow. I want to say it gives him the damage from the Lichbane and the slow field from the Frosty Fists. The Frozen Cuffs. The Gloves of Icy Justice. Not Shm-ADC takes up way too many turret shots, but all's well that ends well as he escapes out here without much harm. This inhibitor going down quickly. As long as Leave can stand auto deck it, instead he's going to pull Udyr right onto his face. Crowstorm comes around onto nobody. Handsome Miyuji flashes in to get that damage on, and it looks like they might actually win the fight. Ruex3 comes in from behind, lays down some solid damage. Not Shm-ADC taking out Baby Got back in the top. Baby Got 1775 numbers. Does come in there to fall to Ruex3, who, continuing on to With All Ice, will find the kill with the Blinding Dart. This is now 4 members against 1. Only 5 champions are alive on the Rift, and they're looking to potentially close out the game. Oh, Riven moving in here, finds the kill on the Ruex3, but Two-Face Itachi takes him out. That means there's no one left to protect this base with the minions closing in. This might be game for blue team. They need to push in here. No, they need to push in. No, they need to push in. That's out. That's out. This is in. That's out. No, 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 no. Well, the one game from our blue team is now it's still probably a 1 game, but going to be about 2 or 3 minutes longer. We're in the 46th minute, which I still attest is about 20 minutes longer than it needed to last. But they're eventually going to muscle out the enemy base. Fiddlesticks is so powerful right now, 11, 2, and 11. And when you go up against his counterpart, the AD carry, even with his 355 CS, which would be impressive by all accounts, he's only 3, 8, and 3, hasn't been able to accomplish that much. He's built for a very attack damage heavy AD carry with the Trinity Force, with the Infinity Edge, the Trinfinity Fedge, as it were. It's not, but we'll still pretend it were. He has to get in there for quite a few auto attacks, but it's difficult up against the silences, the slows, and the blinds. So he really has to rely on the culling. The culling does so much more damage when you get that Bloodthirster build, which he decided to forego. This last Whisper will help him out a bit against the high armor totals on the enemy team, but there's still not a last Whisper completed from Riven. Udyr going for a static could be a static shift. It could be an Atlas Impaler as well. That'd be interesting. Not an item I've seen for quite a while. And with a Ravenous Hydra, he's building for a very aggressive build, but he hasn't been able to use it too much. We haven't seen Udyr making too many plays in team fights. He has a decent amount of tankiness, but it's just not quite enough to withstand the kite potential that we see from these 2 ranged champions, and then 2 that you just hate to go against. You have Trundle throwing his pillars, having his slow, throwing his Blade of the Ruined King as well. You have Leave with the grabs and knockups, the silences, and he slows on auto attacks, tries to rock grab With All Ice, who had the Banshee's Veil anyway, and that could put Leave in a bad spot, but the silence comes away to defend his support, now turned AP AD carry support. He has a Talisman of Ascension, he has a Frozen Heart, oh, and he has an excellent grab onto Chaos Chaser, who are dealing so much damage. The Crowstorm comes in from Mansayuji. He has to pump. No, he doesn't throw the Zanyas, and so he will fall. However, that's a double kill here for Fiddlesticks. The grab in will result in yet another double kill for Ruex3, and that's the ace. This is 10 super minions. Wait, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 super minions in here. And certainly the game for the blue team here at 48 minutes and 43 seconds. Congratulations to Visachi, friend of the stream, everyone on the blue team here, Ruex3, Hansa Miyuchi, Not Shm-ADC, and Leave as well, for a well-fought game, fighting without an AD carry. Mighty impressive. Thank you all for watching. And I hope to see you all next time in episode 6 of Wood League All-Stars.